right, greetings. So, turn up the video speed. Most people live their whole lives in America thinking they pay way too much in taxes. And look, taxes are bad. I agree with you. But contrary to popular belief, most working class people don't actually pay taxes. Simple mathematics. I'll show you. Look at it. Think about it. All right, Freedom Phil, like, subscribe. Let's get into it. And hey, turn up the video speed because whatever speed I'm talking, you can listen far faster. You have the capabilities. Let's get into it. So the big one that I think you can use as a number that everybody can recognize is the cost of public school in your town. Like if you have no kids, you pay taxes. And if you're highly successful with some kids, but you made an exceptional amount of money, then yes, you pay taxes. But the average working class person who has at least, two kids, maybe if you only had one child and you had a fairly decent money-making family, you probably paid some taxes, but not as much as the people that don't have kids. And so you add it up. People think, oh, public school is free. Really? You really believe that? I don't know if you've noticed, but I think it was $857 billion for the public schools in America. Kind of insane when you think about it, considering a billion is a million 1,000 times. But yeah, in this state, it's $9,000 per child per year. So let's say you have, 3 kids, $27,000. Then add in your child tax credits. Is that 1,000 or 2,000 these days? Add up the numbers. The state I grew up in, it's around $15,000 to $17,000 per student per year for K through 12. And what you should really be thinking about is that much money for a moment. That number times 13 years, if you put that in the S&P and let it mature over 30 years, you'd have a pretty decent retirement right there waiting for you. And yet, what do you get for 13 years of so-called education? You get kids that after all that time, assuming they did no extracurricular, they're good enough to do what? Flip hamburgers, stock dollar store shelves? I'm just saying, man. Look at the numbers. Add up the numbers. The child tax credits, the cost of the schools. Now people say, wait a minute, I pay federal taxes. Okay. And there's all these other things that go on in society that you didn't benefit from. I mean, everybody benefits from the highways, the roads. I mean, even if you don't use that particular bridge or highway, products are brought to your area. Like when you can have an orange in a state that can't even grow an orange, that should put it in perspective that, yes, you benefit from a lot of things going on in society. Prison system that keeps bad people in jail, our military that help dissuade other countries from deciding to invade. I mean, because look, we're a big ass piece of land here. If people really wanted to and they came over here and took it, that would kind of suck, wouldn't it? So yeah, you benefit just on the day-to-day basis and you don't even recognize it. But then we go into people that would say, well, wait a minute, I pay Social Security. Now, if you die young, then yeah, you paid into that. But a lot of people, when you run the numbers, they actually outlive what they ever paid in. So, I mean, back in the day, I did the numbers and it turned out the average person was like 200 grand, extra that the system is paying. And people say, well, how do we pay for all this? We just print money. We just print money and inflate the dollar, and nobody knows the better. And really, when people talk about property taxes, for instance, I just got to be real about it. Like the property tax for this place, this house, is only about $800 a year. That's like less than 1% of what I'll make when I'm trucking. Now, if I make over 100K, once you get to a certain amount over 100K, what happens is you start getting to a taxation rate where you're paying like 24% of your paycheck. And then if you have a state income tax, I don't know what state you live in. By the way, pro tip, move to a state where you have no state income tax. Then you're paying like anywhere like say 6% to 11%. So you add up the numbers and you look at it and you're like, wow, they took this much out of my check. And this is actually where the next part comes in for most people and why they're struggling. Most people have a lot of credit debt, and then fees in life because they want things, but they don't want to save the money for them. They just want everything now. So you add up all those interest rates and percentages, and boy, that's where it gets nutty between what you've lost to the government taxation wise as a hardcore working class person. And now I got to be real about it. The interest rates are like a taxation you just can't avoid, because you decided to buy a house. Let's say a house at $500,000 at 6%. What is that, like 30 grand? And by the way, that's a lot of houses these days. I mean, you look at what it costs. I remember hearing about these people paying $7 grand per month for their mortgage in Seattle. And I was just sitting there. I'm like, I got land near the Hoods Canal out there that's all of like $500 in taxes per year and $200 for HOA. And I got beach rights. I can go out and get clams on the regular. So I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, I don't know why people are playing it all in hard mode, but it's this thing that we go through our lives and we look at our W-2s and say, where's all our money going? And look, if you have kids, give yourself a big applaud. You're working the system. What the hell just happened there? I didn't clap. I got a clapper over here with some Christmas lights. What the hell is shit? Turn off. Ghost. But the point of it is that, yeah. And by the way, the Mormons have this term called bleed the beast. And that refers to the concept that, yeah, you have enough people to where you basically get more than you ever pay in. But that's what most people are already doing, and they don't even know it. So next time you feel really like burnt out about taxes, just run the numbers and be like, well, we actually came ahead this much this year. And here's the pro tip. If you live debt free, work super hard when you're young, do the minimalism thing, and you can be retired by the age of 30 in this country. By that point, like, what would you want to do? You want to be a better dad, a better mother? Do you want to just retire and enjoy your life? Just saying. It's a great country to be in. I know things look down sometimes, but yeah, this is golden age if you really think about it. But don't let the system get you down. All right, so it's Freedom Phil saying turn up the video speed because y'all can listen faster. If you listen to this at regular speed, I don't know how you got through this. All right, take it easy.